Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Hometown Hustle podcast, episode 6.
That's right.
Episode 6. Today, we sit down with Kelsey Yoho from the Weekend Beer Company here in Grants Pass.
Yep. Kelsey is a goddamn American hero, let's be honest. She's won the Bronze Star and a whole list of crazy ass awards from her military career, and then came back home to start a family and a brewery. Which is
and a kick-ass brewery.
Yeah. Hell yeah. We tried some beers. Heard her great story. Hope you guys tune in and hope you guys love it.
Welcome to the Hometown Hustle, a podcast showcasing small business owners and leaders who are making an impact here in the Rogue Valley. Come join us as we go one-on-one with some of the most inspiring people that call Southern Oregon their home. Now, here's your hosts, Daniel Buffano and Michael O'Coin.
What's up, Kelsey Yoho?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
I'm glad to have you here. That's for sure.
Thanks for having me.
Better day, you brought us gifts.
Yeah.
I know. I don't come on empty-handed.
No.
You want
Much
to talk beer?
appreciated.
I'm ready.
Yeah, no, we're so good. We're so happy you're here. The reason why we do this podcast, obviously, because there are some way cool people that live here in Southern Oregon.
Yeah.
And we've had the opportunity to meet a lot of those people just through business and stuff like that. And so you are one of those cool people.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. And so, which is why you're here. And we love Weekend Beer Company. We not only are your beers great, but your whole business there is just really cool. And it's really popular. And so that's why we wanted to talk with you. And then we sent you this interview form, and you're way more impressive than I thought you were in the first place.
Thanks.
And so I've realized that you're quite humble. So I think the first thing that I want to do, actually, because I know I can't get you to say it. Okay. Because I know I'm not going to get you to do
No,
this.
you're not.
No. First of all, you're a valedictorian from Grants Pass High School.
Yeah.
You are. You attended the United States Military Academy, aka West Point.
Yeah.
And that's where you graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Engineering Psychology. Uh-huh. And then you were commissioned in 2007 as a military intelligence officer in the United States Army, where you served as a battalion intelligence officer, a signals intelligence platoon leader, a brigade assistant intelligence officer, a company commander, tell me if I'm saying this wrong, an aide de camp to a commanding general, and a branch chief in the Army Cyber Command. That's quite the list. But wait.
You're just getting started.
But wait, I'm not done, people. This is stuff that I never knew about Kelsey, because you clearly are the most humble person ever. You were deployed twice to Afghanistan, and then you retired from the military in 2017 as a promotable captain.
Separated.
Okay.
But yes.
All right. Fair enough.
You don't get retired until you do 20 years. So
Is that right?
I don't want to take that away from those guys.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, that's cool. All right. But then, on top of all that, you were awarded the Bronze Star with a 1 oak leaf cluster.
Yeah.
Tell me what the oak leaf cluster stands for.
I got it twice.
You got it twice.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So both deployments.
Both deployments.
Yeah.
And that's for, what's a Bronze Star?
I don't even know how to describe. Yeah, so it's a prestigious award that you get for performing well under certain circumstances, and usually it's pretty hard to get them not in combat. It's not with a V device, which is the really big one that everybody. So you can get a Bronze Star with V device, and that's like performing well under fire, and then a Bronze Star is performing well, in your position, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Sorry, just trying to give a little background.
No,
Some people
clarity.
don't understand the award system. And then there's Silver Star, Legion of Merit, Medal of Honor kind of thing. So there's still quite a few up there.
It's fourth in line, Kelsey. We looked it up, Michael. It's fourth in line, which is really cool. But on top of that, you also have a Meritorious Service Medal, an Army Commendation Medal, the Army Achievement Medal with 2 oak leaf clusters, a National Defense Service Ribbon, an Afghanistan Campaign Medal with 3 campaign stars, the Global War on Terror Service Medal, the Army Service Ribbon, the Overseas Service Ribbon, with a numeral 3.
You're just gonna like make me
the
blush
NATO,
the whole
the
time.
NATO medal, and the aerosol badge.
Okay.
Kelsey, you're a rock star.
Yeah, thanks.
You're a goddamn
How do you
American.
fit all those on your
Bright
chest?
red now, bright red.
You're a goddamn American hero, is what I think. This is way cool. And that's why I just think it's cool. I think people. I mean, obviously, you're not boasting. No,
I never did this.
No, and I don't think anybody does. And that's really cool. I'd be surprised if Troy even knew all this. I'm just teasing.
Oh, he was competing with me. He definitely knows.
Yeah. No, but this is just way cool. And I guess my first question is, how did you go from being a valedictorian at Grants Pass High School to wanting to join the Army? Like, where did that come from?
I did really well out of Grants Pass High School. I got a great education, but I also was student body president. I was National Honor Society.
Yeah.
I was a 12-sport athlete.
Jesus.
So, I was doing all of that stuff. I was a really overachiever, probably goody two-shoes that you probably would have not enjoyed being around as much.
And now you're making beer.
Now I'm making beer. And so I knew I wanted to get out of state. I knew I applied to probably 7 or 8 colleges, 2 of which were military academies. I was one of the suckers that got a brochure in the mail, and it actually worked. So they sent me a brochure in the mail after I had taken the PSAT or the SAT for the 7th or 8th time. And I saw the brochure, and I kind of started asking questions about it. And I filled out this little questionnaire. They sent me back something. I filled it out. I hadn't even filled out an application yet. And they sent me a conditional acceptance before going into my senior year.
Yeah, they looked you up.
Yeah. And I think they were also having a big push to try to get more female candidates. And they started realizing you have to, especially with female candidates, it's not like my husband, he also went to West Point, and his dream started, most males, they know at like a young age, like, I want to go into the military. Mm-hmm. Like, he chose his high school because it put so many people into academies.
Right.
That was not me.
You got sucked in by a direct mail campaign.
Yes. And so I got this conditional acceptance, which I needed a letter from my congressman, and I needed to pass my physical and my medical stuff, but otherwise I was accepted. Yeah. So I went out there in September of my senior year to visit, and I fell in love. It was like the perfect fit. You walk on a campus, and they always tell you that. You'll walk on a campus and you'll just know, just like walking in a house.
Yeah.
You just know.
Right.
And I also went to like Notre Dame right after that, and I was like, this is cool, but I was in love. Mm-hmm. So ended up being a great fit for me. Yeah. But that's kind of how it happened. It literally, the brochure. Yeah.
The brochure. Direct mail. Direct mail works, Michael.
Hear that, Army? Direct mail works.
Direct mail works.
So, yeah.
That's really cool. And then did you meet Troy at West Point?
I met him at the academy.
Yeah.
Didn't like him the first 2 years because we were too busy competing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Is he pretty superstar himself?
Yeah.
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 Yep. That's
probably
cool.
put my resume to shame,
Oh, you think?
I don't know. Don't tell him I said that.
I do want to
don't know.
I do want to talk to him too. More, I'm kind of, I didn't really get this, like, I geek out on all the Army stuff or just military stuff in general. Yeah. And I don't know where that came from, and I don't know why I wasn't like that. I always, like, when I was a kid, I always played like G.I. Joes and did all that kind of stuff like a normal boy does. But for some reason, like when I was in high school and college, like that just wasn't even a thing. Probably because I was playing baseball and it just wasn't like a thing.
Yeah, it wasn't a priority kind of thing.
But now I'm like, damn.
It's
It's like, I wish I could have done that.
Someone was like, why did you get out? And I was like, I kind of needed to grow up. I was having so much fun. And like, we were struggling to get pregnant, and we were never home. I was traveling all over the world. I was going to Japan, Korea, Italy, all these cool places in my last 2 jobs. But we were like, we have no home life, like family life. Like my family was having some medical issues, and it was like, I kind of had to grow up, but I was having so much fun. I mean, people always are like, thank you for your service. And I was like, well, thank you, because I had a blast. It's fun. And like being deployed was probably the best and the worst years of my life. Like in some ways they're super tough. Like my first deployment, I think I slept on a cot in a tent for 5 months straight. but I was having a blast. Like, I mean, when you're actually have that much purpose in your life, it's so rewarding.
Yeah.
And I think that's why some people are so drawn to it and love it so much, and why so many veterans get lost afterwards, because you never can get that sense of purpose again.
Fulfillment.
I mean, you know exactly what you need to do that day, and especially deployed. Like, I mean, I knew I had to turn target packets, turn them over to, you know, the ops guy, and the ops guy was like, yep, we're spinning guys up. They're going to go hit this target. I mean, you'll never get helicopters moving again in your life because you created something.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. I'm sure like the camaraderie and all that stuff that comes with it is all really cool.
Yeah.
You know?
But you bitch about it while you're in it.
Right.
Just like every other job.
Right.
And then you're like, that was the best job. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel never bitches about his job.
I don't bitch about anything. If anybody knows me, I don't bitch about a goddamn thing. I am queen bitch, trust me. Yeah, no, that's really cool. Sorry, I wanted to read that off because I read it when I was reading it last night. I was just like, what? Like, this is just so rad. So, yeah.
Right.
And I do want to talk to Troy too, because I've talked with him a little bit about like when he was overseas and stuff like that. And I know he's been in a gunfight, at least one.
Yeah.
So
you can get him to talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he got fired up with me and Lawton the one day. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
So what was your primary job when you were in the military?
So primarily doing intelligence. So deployed, it would be, you know, building a target packet or tracking different terrorists or insurgents, and you track them, build this whole case on them. So you'll spend like months tracking this guy until you finally get to the point where, I mean, similar to like law enforcement, you essentially are building, you know, the whole packet, which would lead to a warrant.
Right.
And eventually it did go to a warrant-based system in Afghanistan. And so that was super fun. When you are home-based, you're training for that. And so a lot more, especially when I was a company commander, I had 180 people underneath me working for me, and you're training them in order to do those jobs. And so some of it is intel collection and some of it is intel processing. And so in the intel collection side, you have signals intelligence, human intelligence, counterintelligence, technical intelligence, MASCENT. And so you have all these ints, is what you call it in the world, or in the intel world. So you collect all these ints. You have guys that are doing that. And then you have the other side, which is the analyst side, processing all of that and creating these target packets, or also creating the picture of understanding the enemy situation. And so you'll create these enemy sit temps, is what they're called, and where you think the enemy is, what they're doing, different patterns associated with them.
Wild.
Yeah. It really is fun. It's like if you like puzzles at all, or like putting pieces together.
I'm getting excited.
You're just like, oh, this is amazing.
Cool
Yeah.
Super cool.
It can be pretty boring at other times when you're not deployed. I mean, at times like your responsibility is literally the weather brief, because that's considered the enemy when you're at home.
Yeah. But you're hunting somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. You get burned a couple times where, you know, you have like a human intelligence source that one of your soldiers has been meeting with and getting all this information. And, you know, I mean, if they get caught sometimes, and it's really tough to stomach, and you start realizing the responsibility that you have for its human life that you're dealing with.
Or I would imagine that if a piece of intelligence wasn't interpreted properly or something, it could cost lives.
Yeah, and there's misinformation that you have to deal with. And then cybers adds such a different complexity to it that's really interesting. And I started getting more into cyber at the end of my career in the military. But it adds such a complexity, and there's so much misinformation, just like in our own like social media, where you see like people are like, so-and-so did this, and then you do like the fact checks, and they're like, no, they didn't really do that.
Wait. There's misinformation in social media?
No. Stop it.
Well, and then you're not even, I mean, and then on top of that, I mean, in the U.S., we even have foreign actors doing misinformation on top of that, especially with the politics. I mean, I don't know how you can believe anything when you're getting close to an election.
Nope.
Yeah. So. Anyway, sidebar.
Sorry. Went down that rabbit hole.
That's a deep hole, too.
Let's pull that one back.
We don't have enough time for that, Kelsey. So separated from the military in 2017, or departed is what your bio said, I think. And then you came back home.
Yeah.
Grants Pass.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Why Grants Pass?
Yeah. So I did a little pit stop along the way before I came back to Grants Pass. spent like 2 or 3 months in Texas. My in-laws were currently living there, and I volunteered at a brewery because I knew getting out, I was thinking it was a brewery that I wanted to get start. And there was this one brewery that was just really like family centric. It had some of the similar vibes and like great beer, a little bit different business model than what we pursued. And so I just brewed for 2 or 3 months with them.
Wow.
And it was super cool. They were amazing. We still stay in contact. And so that was kind of my, let's see if this is something I really want to get into.
So when you moved back here, that you had every intention
Of starting a brewery. For sure a business and heavily leaning on brewery. Yeah.
Wow. So, yeah, I mean.
And then this is my hometown.
Yeah.
As cliche as that sounds. My parents were still living here. We moved back, and then my brother-in-law followed and my in-laws followed, so it became even more of my hometown. I mean, as far as we had family from both sides now here. So
Keith and Tom and Mary and all the whole crew.
So
yeah.
My siblings are still in the military, so they're not here.
Yeah.
They went Air Force, that chair force.
Bummer.
So, yeah. But they're flying planes every day, so.
That's so rad. It's the bucket list item for me to fly in a plane like that. Like a fighter jet, that'd be so cool, but I think I'm too big. A little fit. So, you moved back.
Yeah. Linked up with Ashley and Brandon, which we met in middle school.
Okay, so you knew them from before.
Yeah, North Middle School, just on like 2 blocks, 3 blocks.
Were
over.
they a couple back then?
No, they weren't. Into high school a little bit.
Okay.
So we all went to the same church. Knew him also through. Well, Ashley didn't go to North, but I knew her through church, and then I knew Brandon. We went to school. We're classmates, high school classmates. Mm-hmm. So Brandon had been brewing up in Portland. He had actually gone to brew school. And then Ashley had, kind of that advertising background. And so we linked up and actually at the Horny Goat, had a little talk. We realized they were in the same kind of planning stage as we were.
Interesting.
And they actually had the Weekend name.
Oh, wow.
And we had a different name we were kind of thinking, but Weekend just was perfect for this area. Like it embodied. That's why people move here, is what they do on the weekends. They don't move here because they're like, yes, my day job is amazing most of the time. It's like, no, I live here because it's absolutely amazing. I'm rafting, skiing, at the beach, whatever. Right. Yeah. So, and so started building the brewery. It was,
It's kind of like a perfect fit.
Yeah. It worked out really well.
Yeah. So. How is that with like 4 people? And like all in a partnership? I know 2 couples and...
Yeah. I mean, it's a marriage. Like you got to work on it. Yeah. It's not, it doesn't just...
Yeah, but you all play your parts too.
Yeah, so we all have our niches. And so Brandon's definitely the brewing. Ashley's, more the social media and advertising and events. I do the tap room and then a lot of the finances. Troy does the contracts, maintenance, build out, growth. Mm-hmm. He's more the vision person that pushes us all. So, yeah.
Cool. Did his side of it, Troy's side of it, come from military? Is that kind of like what he was doing?
So he was operations. He was an infantry officer. Okay. And operations. He did quite a few planning jobs, and so and then he also did a couple corporate jobs afterwards, and it was all very project management. Let's take us from A to B. Type of job.
Yeah, it seems like you guys just all mesh pretty well. Yeah. You all have your own little thing that you do.
It works really well.
Cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
So tell me what your other name was that you had picked out.
Oh, no.
No?
No.
It's a secret?
Yeah. Hopefully eventually we'll start a barrel program with it.
Okay.
So. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, sorry. The beer world don't give out names.
Right.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time trademarking.
Yeah. The weekend was perfect. I remember us talking when you guys first opened. I was like, that is like the perfect name.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really good.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So you want to try these beers?
Yeah, I do.
You do? Yeah, let's do it.
I'm sure everybody's tired of looking at them by now, so they're all viewed up there.
All right. Well, so I'll tell you what I brought, and we'll see how far we get on them.
Okay.
But so I brought our Slow Your Row Kolsch, which is our medal-winning award-winning Kolsch.
Mm-hmm.
I brought
my favorite, by the way.
Yeah. It's just such a clean, crisp beer.
So
it's so easy to drink. It's by my summer drinker. Weekend IPA, which is by far our best seller. Mm-hmm. Great Northwest style IPA. And then I brought out 2 that just came out in the last week and a half.
This is what I'm excited about.
So yeah, I brought Moral Obligation Pale Ale, which Brandon does a great job with pale ales. Like it's just got just enough hoppiness, easy drinking, in that 5 to 6% alcohol range, which is nice. And then which just tapped today is our Fishing in the Dark CDA. And a CDA is a Cascadian Dark Ale, which is another name is Black IPA. In the Pacific Northwest, they always call it a CDA. No one else wants to embrace that, but that's what it was originally called. And so CDA, but it's a black IPA. So you get the dark with the hop.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you want to try first?
That's up to you guys.
You want to do the CTA?
No, I want to do the Moral Obligation.
Moral Obligation?
Okay. Let's do it.
All right.
Okay. So while you're doing that, while you're opening those up and pouring them, well, I guess you can't really talk in the mic at this point, but
I can lean back.
You can lean back a little bit. Your most rewarding thing that's ever happened to you when you opened the brewery? I mean, you thought it was just going to be like you and your parents there?
Yeah. So the first day, it's kind of like throwing a party. Cheers, by the way.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
It's kind of like throwing a party and then hoping people show up, and you think your parents are just going to be the only ones to show up. And it's such a cool feeling when you're like the whole town felt like they showed up.
Yeah.
And the community has been so amazing at supporting us. That part has been the most amazing part about returning to your hometown. Like people really do come out and support you, want to see your business thrive. And I've been extremely grateful that way, especially through COVID. We had people like where we were only doing growler sales out of our garage door, and there were people that came every day. They weren't even drinking, I don't think, all the beer. They were just making sure we kept our doors open. Yeah. And it's pretty fantastic when you realize that your town supports you that much.
Yeah, this community is super rad.
It really is.
Yeah, look, last week we talked to Manny Velasquez at House of Glory. And that, I don't know if you've been down there yet, but you
it's
have.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, but I mean, that's the same thing. He tried to do like a soft opening, like didn't tell anybody about it.
The whole town.
And he like opened the doors and like people just start coming in. He's like, oh my God, I don't know what to do.
When you have that panic, like, am I going to run out of product? Like,
right.
I mean, and we had a couple moments where, you run a little short on stuff, but the town's still pretty forgiving about it, and they come back out and support you again. So.
And then you guys committed to a pretty big move during COVID.
Yeah. It was
tell us how that
biter. So right before COVID, we bought 2.5 acres on the north side of town. We knew our lease was coming up, and so we had looked at a bunch of different properties in town, and nothing was quite fitting for our needs. And the renovation or seismic renovations, there's a bunch of different variables with all the properties. None of them were quite working out for us. And so then we found this 2.5 acres. We bought it from the old Zatola Dairy Family Trust. And their original vision was to have like, a dairy production site on the north side of town back in the day.
Wow.
So we bought this property from them, and COVID hits. And you're just like, and we know our lease is coming up. Our landlord wasn't playing ball in the realm of feasible for us. And so we're stuck in this build. We have the loans, and COVID's happening. So we're getting shut down every couple of weeks. All of a sudden the mask mandates are changing literally every week at one point. And so we're building with Oslin Group, a construction firm in town. And between them and my husband, Troy, they pulled off a build. And Troy had worked with them for a year prior to opening up the brewery, so he knew the organization pretty well, and they've been great to us. They built it in about 8 months.
Just wild.
Which is totally wild. I mean, it's like, an industrial building with like a prefab layout, but like it was still incredible.
Anybody who's been there can look at that thing and be like, what? How did you do that? Yeah.
And so they pulled that off, and we broke ground at the beginning of September. It was March we were moved in. And once again, you're like, we just built out this brewery where we can't afford it. People don't show up, and like with COVID, and right at the same time, the state of Oregon really had pushed to outdoor dining only, and we had some of the biggest outdoor space in town, and it just paid dividends, and it's been a total success. And I think people are craving more of that outdoor space.
Oh yeah. I mean, your guys' grand opening up there was crazy. I mean, there were people parked all the way up off of Vine and walking down.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
You couldn't get anywhere near it.
No.
Yeah.
So,
And then you opened up your beer club a couple weeks ago, and there were people sleeping in the parking lot. But,
I know it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So, what the community support has been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is amazing, by the way.
Yeah,
It's one of my favorite beers.
Yeah. Now, tell me the difference between like this and like a Kolsch, for instance.
Primarily just the hops.
The hops, yeah.
So, I mean, the Kolsch is really light on the hops, light on the bittering hops. It's just very, and a little bit different on the malt background. But this one, you're getting into closer to an IPA. This was really popular, like in the 90s. Like pale ales were the beer. IPAs were just starting to kind of come around. Most people still thought they were just too over hopped, unless you are a hop quote unquote a hop head.
Yeah.
But pale ales are still. I mean, they're great. I mean,
This is right about the right amount.
Yeah,
of
just
and
enough,
stuff. Yeah.
like where you can taste the hop, but it's not like a floral explosion in your mouth.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it.
So
yeah,
it's
really
a good one.
Really good. What's next? I'm finishing my glass here. By the way, I'm on day 5 of a juice cleanse.
So you're gonna feel this.
Yeah. A few more of these.
All right.
He's had about a total of 700 calories in the last 3 days.
I'm about turned up already.
All right.
We'll go for the dark one.
The dark one.
Yeah. CDA.
So this one just tapped today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, listen to that freshness.
Yeah.
Nice. Look at that.
I can hear it in the headsets too. We'll get some good audio for Danny on that one.
Awesome.
I'm talking too much, so
That's okay.
I'm not keeping
That's what
up.
you're here for. We're just
here.
here to listen and drink.
Yeah, that's right.
The bartender telling stories.
Cheers.
Yeah, super cool. I want to back up a little bit because I forgot to ask you this. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in it, but
some coffee notes and wow.
A lot of Chinook hops in it.
Well, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. You guys are having all the fun, and I'm just sitting over here. Whoa.
Yeah.
Crazy
cool,
flavor. Yeah.
That'd be great over ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
Some fresh gelato from House of Glory.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It is cool.
Maybe because I haven't had anything but vegetable juice the last 5 days. Yeah, give me more.
It's a cool style.
Yeah. No, it's really.
I think it's an underappreciated style. A lot of brewers really love this style because you get like the big, bold grains, and then you have tons of hops in it. Yeah.
Wow. That's
kind of the
amazing
opposite
flavor.
direction of what we just drank. But
Yeah.
it's still
totally.
great. Yeah.
Well, really cool. No, I dig it. I really like that a lot. No, I wanted to ask you about how you broke your back. Was that while you were at West Point or after the fact? Or?
Yeah, so it was at West Point. So
Okay.
they have a military movement class, which is essentially gymnastics PE class that is required of freshmen. They call it plebe year, but freshman year for everybody else. And so I was in the class. I was doing a rope crawl, where you horizontally crawl across the rope, and I was getting a little too competitive.
Troy was on the other one?
No, Troy wasn't. Troy just heard rumors about me at this point.
Yeah.
And so there's like marks on the tape. And if you get past another tape, you get another point. Like literally I'm doing this for a point in a class. It's 5 points total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just who you are.
Yeah. So, well, I think I learned a lot from this whole experience. I was way more competitive, way less patient before my accident. But anyways, I landed super weird. My spotter got my head and my neck up, so I didn't break my neck. Broke my T11, totally shattered it. I got really lucky. My instructor had watched a head and neck injury class that morning. And they had shown a real live video clip in the video that he had watched. And they had this, they talked about this popping sound. And I thought I had just knocked the wind out of me. And I tried to move. He immediately, stopped me from moving and called in the ambulance. There's a hospital on base on the campus. So they immediately transferred me up there. By the time I got into the hospital, I couldn't feel below my hips. So I was probably paralyzed for about 24 hours. They finally got like enough steroids, and then I went into surgery. Right before surgery, I finally felt my feet.
Man, how scary.
It was pretty scary, yeah. And my parents immediately flew across the country. They didn't know that I could feel yet. They thought they would bring me home like paralyzed. That was the last they had heard. So they were pretty emotional by the time I got there, and not long after they got there, I could feel. So I went into this like 12-hour surgery. They took out part of my rib, rebuilt my back with metal hardware, part of my rib, and all the bone fragments. And then it took me about 2 weeks to be able to walk completely again. Wow. And I mean, it was quite an ordeal. And then they tried to kick me out of West Point because I was set back. Like I dropped almost all my classes. I had a couple instructors that taught me in the hospital because you couldn't go back to the dorm, but the barracks is what we call it, until you're self-sufficient. Because there's not like a normal college campus, where you could go home. So you're staying in the hospital. So I was in the hospital for about a month and a half. And my instructors were coming up and teaching me in the hospital or over the phone. They were giving me tests in the hospital so I could, at least get some of my credits. And then I took my finals. I took a couple of my finals. I was finally back in class, but they're 3-hour-long finals. I took a couple of them on my back, like literally I just laid down on the ground. I was like, because I couldn't sit up for that long. Sitting up was like the worst. And then, it kept kind of haunting me a little bit during my career. I went to my graduation physical, and they're like, I don't know why you're here. Like, you should have been kicked out, even though you're totally meeting all the requirements to graduate. And he was like, okay, I'm going to pass you on your graduation physical. This is a doctor, but you need to come in next week, and we'll talk about getting you a medical board. And I was like, okay. And I just never came back. Same with right after my injury. Tried to go to airborne school. Instead they tried to kick me out of the Army when I went in, and I was like, okay, I'm good. So, it was a pretty life-changing event for me, probably because I actually learned how to ask for help. Mm-hmm. And I think that was the toughest thing for me. I'd been so independent and so I felt like I was a strong person. But when you have to ask someone to lift something for you or carry your backpack to class or help you tie your shoes, it's really humbling. And it's not a skill set that I had learned growing up. Mm-hmm. It was just I could do anything I wanted, and not like in a sense of like I was self-sufficient and independent. And I learned to tone down my competitiveness because I couldn't keep up at first, and it's pretty humbling. And I think a lot of people go through, especially in their late teens, early 20s, they go through like major life events that really help you grow. And if you come out of them growing, then that's great. Mine was an injury. I think some people are, family deaths. Some people are parent divorces or other things. But I think very few people you talk to don't go through a major event in their late teens, early 20s that doesn't impact their life and they don't come out stronger from.
Yeah. I feel like I've had one of those.
Yeah.
And obviously that probably changed the direction you were going to take in the Army, or what you saw your career path being.
I think so. I think I would have tried to do something that wasn't actually the best fit for me. I think I would have tried to do more of a physical, athletic job. Even though I think I was a natural fit for Intel. It was a great fit for me. Mm-hmm. And I changed also probably what major I did. I think I would have probably pursued mathematics. And instead, I found engineering psychology, which was a lot more about analyzing networks that felt like that just led into Intel for me.
Yeah. Weird. Huh.
Yeah.
It's funny how things work out like
that.
No,
life does work out the way it's kind of supposed to.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a hard way to get there, but.
Yeah. A lot of people don't believe that, though. They just, this happened to me and my life's over, and then they just quit,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it would have been easy for you to just.
Totally easy. Christmas break was right around the corner, and they were like, just don't come home or don't come back, and we'll talk to you about maybe coming back in a year or two. And I just showed up.
Yeah.
And and that was part of it. I just kept showing up. They didn't want me to do my summer program, which was super intense. field exercise all summer long, and I just
It was like
up.
the guy in
I
the
couldn't even run yet, and
it was like the guy in the office that they kept on trying to fire. And
yeah,
he just wouldn't go away.
just don't go away.
Just keep showing up. That's exactly right. Yeah. God, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
So it was a little bit longer of a story then. But yeah, it was a major point in my life of kind of turning point.
Yeah. It's not as dramatic as breaking a back, but I mean, it's relative. My baseball career ended pretty abruptly.
Yeah.
Because of, it wasn't necessarily an injury. I guess it could have been, but it kind of just turned my whole world upside down. Like I thought I was doing this, and then it just like led me in a completely different direction.
Yeah.
Caused me to meet my wife. You know, like we were friends in college when I was playing, but we just never were, you know. So it's just interesting how like all that stuff kind of trickles out.
It does all kind of come, yeah. I met Troy right after, like that, during that field exercise. And, you know, we got in a huge blowout fight. He was making fun of one of my roommates, and he was actually making fun of me a little bit because I wasn't physically quite ready yet. And he didn't know I had broken my back.
Sounds like Troy.
So
kind of a dick.
I gave him a really harsh talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was,
And now you're married and you have 2 kids.
Now we're married and 2 kids, yeah.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Maeve.
Yay,
So cute. Henry and Maeve.
Yeah. She turns 4 months in less than a week.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
It's just time flies.
Time flies.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how time,
Yeah.
My daughter would be 4 in April.
It's mind blowing. And everybody warns you.
Yeah.
Kids just, like, it goes faster than you think. And it's so much even faster than you prepare yourself.
I think the scariest part for me with the kids is like you start to think like, man, it's been 4 years since we had that kid. Like how much time do I have?
Yeah, I know. Life is really finite.
Like I'm only 35 years old, but it's like time just keeps moving and moving and moving. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's scary. Like I enjoy watching my kids grow. And everybody's kids grow, but I enjoy that part, and I'm not like sad they're growing because I think it's cool. I'm just more sad that like my time's running out.
I know.
You know, so it's just kind of crazy. But anyway, more beer, Daniel. Shut up. No, that's really quite good.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
You guys want to try one more?
Yeah, why not? I'm already fuzzy. Send it.
All right, Kolsch or IPA? You want to go Kolsch?
Oh, Kolsch.
Kolsch?
I might need the Kolsch. Yeah, the IPA will probably knock me on my ass.
I think I like the CDA better than the moral obligation.
Yeah, no,
that was pretty good.
No, that surprised me because I'm not a dark beer drinker. Like I typically don't.
Just reminds me of a good porter.
Yeah, but it's a little bit more refreshing and a little bit more going on.
Yeah, not as heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really quite good. Save the best for last, at least my favorite anyway.
Yeah, we're totally going in backwards order for beer tasting, but that's okay.
Yeah, you're supposed to start with the lighter stuff, right?
Yeah, just like wine.
Yeah.
But you know what? Palate cleanser at the end. Just
there you go. No, finished off. And, cheers again.
Yeah, cheers. I have a listing appointment after this, so people are gonna be like, "This guy's been drinking." This is not gonna turn out good.
You're gonna sell our house for what?
Whatever you want, buddy. It's cool. Yeah, no, I need to go and get some breath mints or something.
Another juice, maybe a carrot.
Another carrot. Yeah, well, I do have a juice. My appointment's at 3, and I do have another juice scheduled at 3, so it's all good. Yeah, no, pretty cool. Kelsey, I really appreciate you being here. This is just, you have such a cool company and such a cool brand. It's a lot of fun. You know,
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. When we made this list of people, when we first started this, you were at the top of that list. I know it's kind of taken some episodes to get there, but it's,
we were working it all out.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure we were perfect.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We wasted it on Brendan, Wheelhouse, you know.
Oh.
He was our first guest. No, I'm just kidding. Brendan
You did not waste with Brendan.
No, Brendan is he's just a great talker. You know, he's just easy to converse with, and that's why we chose him.
And they have a cool business concept. Yeah. They've been a great addition to like our compound, for lack of a better word. And they're doing great things, and I think it's just the beginning of what they're going to do. They have so many plans, and
it kind of threw me off a little bit when you or Troy told me that you guys were bringing in a coffee truck. I'm like, a coffee truck?
I know, people were like, you're competing with yourself? They have beverages. But it doesn't. Really. It's like it's a perfect marriage. It works really well.
It's just so cool that they're open in the mornings too.
Yeah, well, and it makes like our property isn't just sitting They're
Dormant,
between,
yeah.
and then we've started doing the pancake pop-ups with them and Murph's Pancakes.
Yeah, this Saturday.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know when we're going to air this. We better air this on Friday.
Second Saturday of the month.
Yeah.
And so,
but they happen every month, so it's okay.
It's every
there you
month.
go.
It's
Yeah.
second Saturday. And it's been awesome, and it's just fun. And we do mimosas and shandies or beer mimosas, whatever you want to call them. And it's fun when you get to bring multiple businesses in town together.
Yeah.
Because there's so many cool things going on in town. So many small little businesses that are just doing amazing things.
Yeah. I mean, that's like one of the big reasons why we want to do this podcast too, is not only like showcase the cool people that we have in town, but also kind of like bridge the gap, right? I mean, it's like, we wanted to help collaborate, and just work with each other on trying to, get better and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's like, it's the epitome of your business. I mean, you have 4 other businesses that are working all together at the same place. And
then not even including our grain goes to a farmer, and then we have CSA pickups in the summertime. I mean, we've got some other cool little businesses that you don't even know are connected to us. And so, it's fun.
Yeah, it's cool. I love that partnership and that kind of that meeting of the minds kind of thing. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
I just love how with the coffee place, you have people that'll be there all day long.
Yeah. And people bring their laptops and just work all day long.
Yeah, we've been there a couple times, coffee morning before we come to the office, go for lunch, and then after lunch we'll go grab dinner.
Legit.
Yeah, I know. But that's what I think has made the business so successful is we looked at it as we wanted it a community center, not a business first. And so it serves a community. I mean, yes, a byproduct is, we run a business and support our families, but the cool part is we wanted a place that we wanted to hang out. And you can, take a meeting there. We have fiber internet there. You can grab a coffee. You can go get tacos, pizza, or hamburgers that are some of the best in the valley. I mean, it's cool.
Host an event.
Yeah, we've got the event space going, and we're actually turning the grass into turf at the end of the month because we were struggling to keep the grass alive with how much traffic was on it. So that will be a nice addition to kind of have that a little bit more accessible, less muddy. So,
Yeah. What's next for weekend?
Well, besides paying off everything, I think we're going to try to continue to obviously improve what we've got going. And keep making, there's still things after moving into a new building that we just need to get dialed in. And then we'd like to develop the land a little bit more, get some more things going on the land. We'll see how that kind of develops. We have a couple different ideas on that. And then we'll see kind of where it takes us. I mean, we're low on our production. We're still a really small actual brew system. And right now we can't distribute beer at all because we're serving it all in-house. Yeah. We just can't keep up with the demand.
Which is crazy because you like doubled the size of your brewery from the first location.
No,
right?
we didn't double. We've grown with we've added fermenters and bright tanks along the way. Okay. But we did not change the brew system when we moved into the new place. So that would probably be the next step is production. But the question is, do you do it in the current site or do you build an additional building on the property?
Because you have that space on the other side of that parking lot, right?
Yeah, it's 2.5 acres.
Yeah.
A lot of it's parking right now, but there's still all the space next to the Red Lion and Floors for Less is also on the other side, and we have a little bit of space on that side. So
really?
Floors to go, right?
Floors to go. That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And so, there's definitely room to grow, and I think that's kind of where we'll look at when we kind of get financially at that spot again.
Sure.
It takes a little while.
I'm sure you guys paid a pretty penny for all of that. Yeah.
And there were, there's a bank in town that was awesome to us and kind of supported us along the way, even though we were a young business. And then So Ready, Southern Oregon, what are they? Economic, retention and economic development. They also helped support us. So, it really was we had some pretty creative financing to grow that early on in our business time period. So
well, that's cool. There's people in town that want to do that, you know, and that are good at it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's really cool. excited for you guys, interested to see what happens with it. You know, I'm a huge fan, even though I can't get into the beer club.
Right.
I think we're gonna.
They had another opening, and they did it when I was out of town.
Yeah.
Well,
it's very rude.
I had something going on, like I was sleeping in the middle of the night, like not camping in the parking lot.
There were people camping in the parking lot. So I think next year we're gonna do a lottery.
Yeah.
Do an actual party.
Yeah.
And like put your name in and hope and we have X amount of slots. We'll pull X amount of names.
Or you can have VIP members.
Yeah. Sponsorships.
Sponsorships.
So yeah, we're trying to keep it not too big where you actually like people like our beer club members. You know, they come in and we all know them by name. And
talk about the beer club. Let's tell what that includes and kind of what it's about and all that.
So they get essentially happy hour pricing on their pints all day, every day. Mm-hmm. So they get and then they also get a growler every month, a growler fill every month. There's some cool merch that comes with it. And then we do Member Mondays. So one Monday out of every month, we do an additional happy hour to their already happy hour pricing. And we kind of just do a get together. We'd usually do a couple community service projects, and then we also have a couple parties. Mm-hmm. And so where there's lots of free beer, discounted beer, and fun merch and whatever else. And we do some other events. Occasionally we'll do like a beer pairing, or a beer dinner. So it becomes a close knit family, and we have 85 is the max number that we've kind of stuck with. And, so we only had, I think we had less than 20 spots open up this year and so they did that.
Yeah. What other kind of things are you doing with Weekend? I know you guys do some you do the Beat the Brewers trivia night.
We actually have tonight. So every other Tuesday we do trivia night, and part of the competition is you beat the brewers, but then you're also competing with everybody else.
And that's been really popular.
It's been really popular. So we'll keep that going. We also started doing Rogue Valley Disc Golf Club comes in Monday nights, and they're doing a putting competition. And so cool. They're out on the grass area. They do like a buy-in, and they do little putting competitions. They bring their baskets for the disc golf. Yeah. It's super fun.
That's cool.
We do beer and yoga once a month on a Sunday, which that's always fun. I usually try to jump in on that. Wise Roots Yoga, the instructor from there, Crystal, she hosts that for us. I'm trying to think. We did a prom night that was really fun as a fundraiser. We've done a couple fundraisers for Giving Tuesday. So try to give it back with some of the fun events too. Mm-hmm. And then try to have stuff that kind of embodies the weekend, and like getting people together, that community center.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a run club. That's the other thing. Grants Pass Running Club meets 1 to 2 times a week. So
how does that work? You just eat as many Valentino burgers as you can and then just run as far as you can?
No, quite the opposite. That? They go and run at least a 5K, and then some of them walk even, and then they come back and eat the burger and the beer.
And
beer.
Earn the carbs.
Afterwards. Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, that's super rad. Really cool. What other kind of businesses in town are you fond of, and do you appreciate, and who stands out to you?
Well, right now I've been really impressed with some of the food and beverages businesses that have opened up post-COVID. Right. I think it's really brave. I think they're in the right spot at the right time. But it's really impressive to me. And so Partake just opened, Food Studio, Lulu's just changed ownership. I was
just there the other day.
Yeah. You guys just, House of Glory just opened up, and they're in that downtown area. They all have great locations. And I think they're doing a lot of the great things that need to happen. And it's fun seeing businesses open up again. It's been a while. I mean, nothing really opened up for about 1.5 years, mainly just closures.
Yeah.
And so it's been really fun to start seeing the new businesses pop up, and they're doing great.
Yeah. One of the things you wrote in your interview form that really kind of spoke to me too is that one of the things I think inspires you or motivates you was bad businesses. You see people doing it poorly.
Yeah.
Which I think that I think it speaks to me so much, because it's like I see people doing stuff and we're like, I can do that way better.
Yeah. So
and it's really bad, but it's like, I don't know if it's bad but.
So some of it was a holdover from the military. So they always tell you that you learn more from bad leaders than you learn from good leaders. But there's definitely, you take away from good leaders, and you have to work harder to learn things from good leaders. And I think even with the business, like it's so easy to learn from bad businesses. I mean, it's tough to like internalize it and actually make sure you apply the opposite or figure out what is that root cause of it. But with good businesses, it's tougher to get those, like that essence, what makes them really good. It's really tough to take that. Yeah. And so sometimes it's easier to kind of get the bad businesses, and you see like partnerships that aren't doing well, breweries that, neglect the actual brewing process. And so their beer starts to, not taste the way it should, or, not working at hiring your employees, or, playing, employees playing mommy daddy games. You can see it when you're like behind the bar looking at another business or at a restaurant or at a different business, whatever it is, as a customer. And I think
still doing a lot of intel on other breweries in Kelsey.
Yeah.
So that's your.
I think it's natural, isn't it? Though.
Yeah, you've got to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I love going up to Bend and just like hit as many breweries as I can. Not from a drinking standpoint, but like I'm literally taking pictures the entire time, and they probably are like, "Who's that weirdo?"
Yeah.
I mean, we got one of our
Weekend
great
beer
ideas.
company,
Yeah. But we got one great idea from Bevel's, a really cool brewery up in Bend, and. It's actually all disc golf themed. It's really fun. A little bit heavy on the IPAs, but I like IPAs.
Bend.
Yeah, it's Bend. But they had piped their natural gas heaters and like connected them to their picnic tables. And Troy and I were like, yes, this is exactly what we're going to do. And we were in the middle of building out the brewery. And so we put in natural gas all in our outdoor courtyard area so that we could have heaters and tent space.
Game changer, by the way.
Game
Totally.
changer.
Yeah.
I mean,
7 a.m. at coffee at 20 degrees outside.
but when you have that heater that's pumping out
Yeah.
and it's natural gas, because we were making propane trips after propane. When we were at the old building doing those heaters, and we're like, there's got to be a better way. And we were looking at some of those infrared stuff that are awesome. They're super spendy, and we didn't have an outdoor structure to like attach them to, like those big, large overhead ones. And I mean, it was like perfect, but that's just like one of many. I think you always have to be improving your position.
Right.
And if you're doing that, your business just keeps getting better, and you can't ever look at the business as being finished.
Yeah. And that's, again, like we go about this all the time when we're trying to improve on the stuff that we're doing. We just see what other people are doing poorly and be like, okay, we need to do that better.
Yeah.
Or,
I got a good idea, but it can be done better.
Yeah. And you can you can see some things that you're messing up even yourself. Like, oh, wait, we don't do that. We should be doing that. They're doing it way worse than I am, but we need to improve. Yeah.
I wish people were more aware of that kind of stuff because it's so easy. I mean, you just have to go and pay attention.
Yeah, but I mean, complacency and comfort in maintaining is really easy. And I think, you work so hard to get to a certain point, and it's so easy to like just become complacent with where you are. And you have to every day strive to like, what do we need to improve? What needs to get fixed?
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
That's cool. What other kind of stuff are you involved in, Kelsey? How are you dipped into the community?
Besides the chamber and Young Professionals Network, which has been a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying that. I think it's going in a good spot, and we've got a good group of people that are all...
Yeah, it's been a challenge to get that rolling.
Yeah.
To stay really consistent.
Has. Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think we are in a good place for that. So it's been consistently getting better, and we're starting to get more turnout and more recognition. And I
think meeting in person... as that becomes more, I think it'll just explode even more.
Sure. What were they saying? Mask mandates going to end here soon?
Supposedly March 23rd.
March,
31st or 31st.
Yeah, or if we get under 400 hospitalizations statewide before then.
Well,
it is an election year, so.
Yeah.
Good old Kate Brown. That's right, Kate. If you're watching, she's probably not watching. We're not that popular yet, Michael.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
no, really cool. Yeah, you got anything else?
I don't know. We got any other food trucks or anything? Are you guys sticking at 4 or?
Yeah, so we're sticking with the 4.
Okay,
and that's been great. And then it's been fun having the pancake kind of
the pancake pop up.
And that's been good.
You thought about doing any other kind of like
rotating pop up
type?
Possibly. some of it, there's some logistics with it we've got to figure out. But we'll kind of see how that goes and see if all the food trucks want to stick around. I think they all do, but... Of
course.
Yeah.
And they're all doing well, I'm assuming.
Yeah. And so it's fun. I mean, I think people sometimes get a little bit confused if they're not used to the concept that, I mean, it's 4 separate businesses out there, and they've got to do what's best for their business and figure that out. And sometimes they think we're all the same business, and it's not. It's cool.
I think they all do a great job. I mean, they're always, there's always people in line, and there's always orders going. I mean, it seems like they're all doing well.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's been a great fit for us.
Yeah. Catalyst is amazing.
Yeah. So amazing pizza.
So good.
Yeah. New York style.
Yeah.
And then Taco Mania puts out great street tacos and some other fun Mexican food. And then Wheelhouse, I think they're just going to keep growing. I mean, they're great coffee. And then they have
and good people.
And then they have, all those homemade, or not homemade, but like fresh pastries that they're bringing in. And then
it's about the only place in town that you can get a good bagel, and
they have a great bagel.
Yeah, huge.
And
bagel
then those
fan.
Pop-Tarts, which I swear every time I'm not going to get, and then they're amazing.
They're gluten-free, vegan-free, dairy-free cookies or whatever.
There's no vegans in those Pop-Tarts.
I know, but people don't even realize that those cookies are
amazing.
Like gluten-free and and they're amazing. They don't taste like you're missing out on anything.
Yeah, yeah. And then you got Valentino's, your OG.
I know. They've been with us from the beginning. They've been amazing. And you really, I mean, I haven't found a burger that I like better.
No,
you got to time their burgers. Like, I can't eat one at lunch because I'm done for the day.
I mean, the food coma can set in. Or you got to like split it almost.
Yeah, it's nap time for sure after a Valentino's burger.
I've been really stuck on that. They have a hot pastrami sandwich with their bacon.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my dad came into town a couple months back and had one of their sandwiches. And he grew up in Long Island, New York, which is like hero central. And he's like, Daniel, this is the best sandwich I've ever had.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're so good.
Yeah, they're so good.
But yes, you do need to make sure like I am starving right now. Yeah. Let's go do this, or have a plan to split or save it for later.
Yeah. Have you seen the Fat Kid Food Company?
Yeah, they're doing some great things.
Really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So
Michael brought that to my attention.
Every time I go, there's lines, they're waiting list and sold out.
I'm loving the Greek one on the south side of town. Al's, he's doing great things. Yeah. And then there's also the sushi one now.
Yeah. Rogue Sushi.
Yeah, I love that more food trucks are popping up. I think the part that I love the most about food trucks is they're getting to do what they love the best. They're not worried about all that ancillary stuff of running a restaurant.
The front of the house.
They are just producing great food.
Yeah.
And you get to enjoy it. And it's awesome. Yeah. The front of house is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Just like I don't want to run a restaurant. People are always like, "Are you going to start a pub sometime?" And I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
I don't want to run a restaurant.
It's probably enough work already, with your beer tenders and all that. So
it's almost separate businesses. I mean, because the brewery is its own baby, and then you have the tap room side. A restaurant, the actual like kitchen side is a whole nother beast, and you better know what you're doing, or you'll get eaten alive. I think.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I appreciate Manny so much at House of Glory.
Oh yeah,
the guy was making flower bouquets before you got into food.
He jumps into it. It's awesome.
Yeah, and he's killing it.
I know.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah. But I mean, I think he's got the quality product.
I think he's got the right vision in mind.
The right vision, knows what he likes, and it's something that he would want to enjoy. I think if you lose sight of that passion, or it's not something that you would enjoy or appreciate.
I don't think he's trying to be something he's not.
No,
it's his culture.
It's
his background.
Weird business model, to be honest. I mean, he's like. I mean, the gelato part's not weird, but then he's got like sandwiches, kind of like Cuban sandwiches sometimes.
Have you had the sandwiches?
No, but I've heard they're just like, they'll destroy me for life. And then he's got these amazing like cakes and pastries. And actually one of our employees is going to start doing chocolates over in his kitchen for him. Cool. And it's just really cool, like concept. Like but it's a weird mesh. Like it's like ice cream first, and we've got sandwiches. Yeah. And then we've got these cakes. People are just coming in to get the cake by the slice. Yeah. And so this is what he loves in life, and he's putting it all in one package. And then they remodeled that building to. I mean, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's also other fun ones. Oh, Steam Distillery. We didn't bring up them. They're doing great things too.
Yeah, we're going to talk to Scott Davis and Mike Blair here one of these days.
Yeah, and Terry.
So, and Terry,
They're doing amazing things.
Yeah, it's just really cool. I really enjoy their Instagram and stuff, just seeing all this cool stuff that they're doing with their drinks.
But I mean, both of them are, I think 2 out of the 3 have all been in like the restaurant business. And they saw what they liked and what they didn't like. And they're just, this is what we want. Everything is quality. It's awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool. A lot of cool things going on in this town right now. So
yeah.
I just showed some houses to some clients the other day over the weekend. They go, well, we're kind of foodies. What kind of places are in town? And I got excited. I was like, I mean,
lit up.
and there's always been a couple good places in town, but like right now it's like, I've been here since 93, 94. And it's like, this is the best it's ever been.
I know. It's really cool.
Pretty rad.
It's really cool.
Cool. Kelsey, where can people find you on social media if they want to follow and do all that kind of stuff?
At Weekend Beer Company.
Yeah.
On all the social hands or weekendbeercompany.com. You know, I'm trying to think. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Come on by.
Yeah. Check it out. If you haven't already, if you live in town and you haven't been to the Weekend Beer Company, you seriously need to do it. It is so cool.
And even if you're not a drinker, I mean, we have kombucha, we have sodas, all kinds of other stuff.
Ciders, wine.
Yeah. Or you can just come hang out and get the food. I mean, there's plenty of people that do that. It's a community center first. So.
Fire pits, picnic tables, just really cool outdoor venue.
It's good to see the fire pits back out.
I know. I love the wintertime.
Really cool. Well, Kelsey, I think that's it.
All right. Well, thank you for having me, you guys.
Yep. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Hometown Hustle Podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. And for more information or to connect with Daniel and Michael, check out www.hometownhustlepodcast.com. We'll see you next time.